Hello, everyone. Welcome to Adventures in Good Health, Doc's Herbal Corner. I am your host and aspiring herb geek, David Maloof. This podcast is sponsored by Dr. Tates, Herbal Tinctures and Tonics. Be sure to stay at the end of the podcast for more information. Let's get started. Today, I am joined by naturalist, master herbalist, nutritionist, detox specialist, lifestyle consultant, author, and diplomat of integrated medicine with over 50 years of herbal medicine experience, Dr. Stephen Tates, a man who knows his herbs. Let's jump right in. Well, thank you, Doctor, for joining us for Doc's Herbal Corner.
Thank you for having me.
So today, we are going to be talking about Gotu Kola.
Yes.
Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, Gotu Kola.
So G-O-T-U-K.
No, it's two words. G-O-T-U,
Gotu.
and the second word is Kola, K-O-L-A. And it's not related to Coca-Cola.
I was going to do a joke about that, but I might have been pressing my luck on that one.
Yeah, fellas, but it's Gotu Kola.
All right. So tell us about Gotu Kola.
Well, Gotu Kola, the best form to take Gotu Kola would be in leaf form. Because some herbs are better in leaves or in powder or in roots. It's good to know that when you're dealing with any herb. So Gotu Kola leaves, okay?
Okay.
Gotu Kola leaves helps with erectile dysfunction. It's also known to help with memory, okay? It is historically been used to help with things like syphilis, hepatitis, which is a liver issue, stomach ulcers, very popular for mental fatigue, memory issues, Alzheimer's. It helps with fevers and asthmatic and epilepsy kind of things, but there are major and minor reactions to different herbs,
Right.
From the positive level. Okay, and the major parts of the Gotu Kola deals with, mental fatigue and memory, Alzheimer's, liver, and ED or erectile dysfunction type things. Now, I always try to give a warning when it's needed, and I want to start off with that as well. You don't want to take it when you're pregnant or breastfeeding, or if you have liver disease. But typically, men tend to lean more towards Gotu Kola than women, because it talks about the prostate and strengthening the prostate and all those types of things. But women can use it as well. Okay, especially for the fact that it's really, really good for memory and concentration. Okay? Then you want, it helps with that circulation because it helps with varicose veins, gets the blood to move, gets the urinary tract cleansed. And when you're getting the blood to move, especially around the liver, and you're getting your better circulation with the kidneys and the bladder, that can have an effect on our sexual functions because a lot of the time ED comes from poor circulation,
Right.
malnutrition. But really the big thing is that the blood flow and the urinary tract system is compromised because if you did an image of a urinary tract system, the bladder, gallbladder, kidneys, and then our prostate. And then they're very close, and they got like tubes that connect them, like little highways.
Right.
And what happens is that when the bladder and stuff gets weak and get clogged, then those tubes that connect from the bladder and the kidneys and goes to the prostate gets clogged. And then the prostate gets clogged, and then inflammation starts. That's where the bitter herbs are good, like we talked about before, the burdock and gentian and stuff, to help make that move. Gotu Kola by itself helps it move. Now, combining Gotu Kola with like peppermint leaves is a good combination to help with memory and concentration in the body.
All right, so combine it with peppermint.
Yeah, 1 pot Gotu Kola to 2 pot peppermint. And Gotu Kola is pretty much tasteless. So what you'll taste more often will be the peppermint, which is calming and stimulating to the nerves at the same time. And it's tasty because Gotu Kola is almost tasteless. So what you're tasting is the fresh peppermint, So that's a good beverage tea that helps with memory and concentration. You can add a little lemon and lime in it. But when you take the Gotu Kola and you're mixing it with bitters like the burdock and gentian, that's when it works well to help with our reproductive system, because it also helps open up the veins when people are suffering with varicose veins, especially with women. Having that bitters, because Gotu Kola still falls under bitters, and it works well with other bitters, which is why it works well with sassafras or sarsaparilla, but especially burdock and gentian in a combination. So you have a twofold, helps with memory and concentration, but at the same time, helps with reproductive issues and ED and stuff like that at the same time.
So, all right, so here at this point, Gotu Kola is a leaf.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bitter.
Yes.
You're saying that it has properties that can benefit memory loss, ED, liver issues, potentially Alzheimer's. It helps. It has a lot of benefits too.
And I would add to it, it just doesn't help with memory loss. Taking it can help keep you from developing memory issues over time. So it's a good preventive, because how it gets the blood moving, especially from the root area in the body. So it gets that blood moving, the urinary tract movement, and then when it moves like that, then what happens is that blood flow, urinary flow throughout the body is better. Because one of the other benefits from Gotu Kola is it's an anti-inflammatory. And as an anti-inflammatory, when you have an anti-inflammatory, whether it's foods or your bitters, it's reducing the inflammation and sometimes eliminating the inflammation, which affects the blood flow and circulation, which then in turn can create other problems for the body.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
and then what you were saying earlier is it is an herb that can work well in conjunction with other herbs.
Absolutely. And I would typically say that Gotu Kola works best when it's combined with another herb. It works good by itself, but for memory and concentration, having Gotu Kola with peppermint as the tea works. Having Gotu Kola with the bitters like burdock and gentian to help with our reproductive system, it works well. So it can be a standalone, but it's a good herb to help mix with other more powerful herbs. It complements them. So depending on what you're trying to do. But it's an anti-inflammatory. It helps with insomnia, because it's helping with the brain and concentration issue. It reduces anxiety and stress. Yeah. It's an antidepressant because of its effects on the memory and concentration. And it helps improve that, or helps deal with that memory and concentration issues, which a lot of times is a poor blood flow, poor fluid flow, and inflammation. Sometimes the memory and concentration issues could be clogged inflammatory conditions in the brain. I know that sounds kind of awful, and it is. Because those are some of the things: the poor circulation, the lack of water, the inflammation in the brain, which accelerates the memory loss, and which accelerates, uh, increases, excuse me, the um, the memory loss, the Alzheimer's, the
Hmm.
dementia type of things in the body.
So you mentioned earlier that it can be mixed with other herbs as a tea.
Yeah.
So when if someone were to go to their favorite herbalist or health food store, how does this herb come? Is it a powder? Is it in little leaves? Is it a whole leaves?
You can get it in powder because you can buy it in capsules.
Okay.
Um, you get it in leaves. It's not a root. It's not a bottle.
Right.
It's a leaf. It's a cut up leaf, and uh, the difference is with powder you can put them in capsules, and you can take it like that, like you're taking a supplement. In leaf form, it's something that you want to boil the water, shut off the water, then add the Gotu Kola with the peppermint in the water after it starts boiling, cover it and let it steep. This is called an infusion in the in formula making. So if you read something say, make an infusion of Gotu Kola and peppermint, what the heck is an infusion? Well, an infusion is a process of letting the leaves or flowers steep in hot water.
So it's not as beneficial if you just drop them into boiling water.
Well, you're killing it. See,
they're killing the benefits.
You're killing the properties, the healing properties, and the benefits. The separation is things like burdock and gentian or sarsaparilla stuff. They root. In order to draw the healing properties into the liquid, you've got to boil them
because they're tougher and
They're tougher.
More of a dense properties, a dense material.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm going to go ahead and let you.
No, go ahead. You're going to say it. See,
well, I'm trying to. You're teaching me to see.
Yeah,
right? You're teaching me to see.
So you tell me what you process. I'm interviewing you, right?
All right. So you're teaching me to see. So, but the leaves, because they're more delicate, the steeping process is maybe a little bit longer of a process, but it pulls the heat. The hot water pulls the nutrients out of the leaf itself.
Exactly. Okay. And then if you're going to make a mixture of Gotu Kola and some roots like burdock and gentian, you're going to mix both separately, and then strain them, and then combine them together. Okay. So people told me, said you can do it with the bitters like burdock and gentian, but you're saying the hard roots need to boil, but then the leaves are steep. Well, it's not complicated when you understand. I steep this, and I boil this. I strain them both out, and I mix them together.
Wow, just like that.
just like that, And then you've got a mixture. Whereas if you steepen everything, well, you're not going to get the healing essence out of the roots and barks because it needs to boil. Or if you do the opposite, then you lose the properties in the Gotu Kola.
All right. So there's a method to there's a reason for that process.
Absolutely.
So is there anything that people would need to know about Gotu Kola in terms of being mindful of or being very careful of? Are there any interactions or potential negative consequences that you're aware of?
The only ones that I'm aware of is, I mentioned earlier, if you're pregnant,
okay,
which neither one of us are going to have to worry about that,
right?
Or breastfeeding,
okay,
neither one of us have to worry about that. Or if you have a severe liver problem or liver disease, because then it can be disruptive to the healing process of the liver or aggravate the liver. Liver is an organ you don't want to have pissed at you, ever, because it can create havoc throughout the body. But other than that, there were no known concerns when you're using Gotu Kola. Those are just, but, typically if you don't know what you're doing, and as a woman especially, and you're pregnant or breastfeeding, it's better to talk to somebody that truly knows. And the only way, this is a clue for people that you can determine if somebody knows what they're doing, is ask them, well, what are the properties? Now, you might not know what the properties are, like astringents or diuretic
Right.
or diaphoretic, but if they cannot explain the properties, then they read a book or they took a 2-week course or something like that. And you got people, excuse me, that are dangerous because of what they're recommending to people just doesn't work.
All right. So you would recommend that they work with an experienced naturopath and herbalist,
Absolutely.
which hopefully they can find one locally.
And if they can't find one locally, they can call me.
They can call you. So how can people reach you?
Simple. 2 numbers, 404-943-1171. That's directly to my office, but it's a landline. And my cell is 404-435-9336. And people say, why is he giving me a cell phone number? I said, because a lot of people love texting. I don't like texting. I don't typing. But, people need...
It's one way that people can reach you.
People can reach me. So I have 2 avenues. And then, like I've always said, when you call, you must mention, well, you don't have to, but you want to mention that you're listening on the podcast, because then I pay more attention. I pay attention to everybody. We said, okay, these are people that are trying to research what they need to do for their health. So they spend the time listening to the podcast, because if you just said, oh, it's a podcast, you're on there for 2 or 3 minutes, you're not going to call. But if you call and you have specific questions, I know that you're, potentially more serious about improving your health or understanding the process of maintaining your health, whether it's the herbs or the fasting or cleansing or breathing or whatever you may hear on any of our podcasts. It tells me that you're trying to take that next stage as regards to your health.
Perfect. And so everyone knows your contact information, Doc, that is in the in writing, in the podcast information, podcast description, in whatever podcast service this is being listened on, as well as the information in YouTube.
Absolutely.
Doctor, thank you very much on today's session of Doc's Herbal Corner.
Thank you for having me.
And now, a quick word about our sponsor, Dr. Tates, Herbal Tinctures and Tonics. Dr. Tates all-natural herbal formulas, which are the true definition of herbal tonics, have been available for over 20 years. These specially formulated herbal tonics are designed to help cleanse, heal, rebuild, and revitalize your body, which will help improve your overall health. Dr. Tates offers the Herbal Blood Tonic, Doc's Detox, Herbal Fat Burner, Herbal Female Tonic, and Herbal Male Tonic. If you would like to learn more about the tonics and where to pick up your bottle, call 404-459-8696 or visit Dr. Tates at drtates.online. That's drtates.online. Or you can simply Google Dr. Tates Herbal Tinctures and Tonics, and you will find a great deal of information on the internet. That does it for this episode of Adventures in Good Health. And we would like to hear from you regarding this podcast and any suggestions you have for future podcasts. You can reach us at Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Please subscribe and leave a rating or a review. Until next week, this is David Malouf exploring natural approaches to good health.